Hey everybody, this is Justin with Stephanie on episode insert now of Decaf because we're not
We
sure
have no
what
idea.
episode this is. We are not going to do very well at your typical approach to this because neither of us has ever hosted it. We've only been guests. So we'll give it our best shot.
Co-host.
Yeah, we are joint co-hosts today of Decaf. Well, okay, so let's get started. Breaking news. Just today, the CDC came out and said no more masks indoors if you are vaccinated.
Finally.
Time to burn the masks. I'm off.
Gosh, it's taken so long for them to get to this point, and I've been waiting for them to, everybody's like, follow the science, follow the science. And I'm like, well, it's just for show if you're fully vaccinated and you are required to wear a mask.
I feel so stupid walking around with the mask on, having been vaccinated. And vindication, finally, the CDC agrees that we don't have to do this. So the question is, does Nashville finally get rid of its mask mandate? Or Memphis has done it. Everywhere else in the state has done it. I think Nashville is the only mask mandate city in Tennessee.
Tennessee. Yeah, it's the only one that still has one, and we're just now under 1,000 active cases in Davidson County, and the rate. I actually looked at all of the metrics on the opening plan. They were all green except for ICU capacity, which was at its normal level that it was pre-COVID. So
Right.
it really wasn't. There's not a shortage of ICU beds, and it's definitely not because of COVID that it's at the percentage that it's at. But so it seems to me that the city is supposed to fully reopen this week or next week. And then the mask mandate should follow the CDC guidance and also go away.
So what are you going to do with your masks? Because we've accumulated a lot of these things.
I haven't actually. I mean, I bought some at the actually, I don't think I've ever bought a mask. I had a couple that I've acquired over time.
You probably
And
stolen mine because I've lost more masks than I ever
probably some of
thought I
yours.
would.
And I've just been washing them and, re-wearing them after, their cloth, washing them and wearing them. So I don't know, we can have a bonfire and do
Let's
whatever.
have a mask bonfire. It's a good time for it. Well, the governor said he wants the mask mandates all gone and all the restrictions gone across the state by Memorial Day. So,
Time.
coupled with this news of the CDC, I just don't see how Mayor Cooper can continue to impose restrictions and mandates on people, given what we now know. But we will see.
I feel a lot more comfortable with the fact that, there's not a limit on vaccines right now. And there is like any adult that wants to get a vaccine can go and pretty much find one in the state right now. So if you want to be vaccinated, you can be. And then that's really up to you whether or not you want to do that. And but it shouldn't limit businesses or people's ability to go about their business.
Let's move on.
Move on.
Speaking of move on, let's move on to another topic. Also, this week, the governor announced that he is opting out of the federal unemployment extension. So, as part of COVID, President and Congress extended unemployment benefits, an additional payment of $300 through September. And I never before remember going to so many places. Every business I go to is hiring.
Mhm.
Starbucks, the restaurant I went to for lunch today, everywhere I've gone in the last few weeks,
Yeah.
it's hiring because they're having a lot of trouble filling those jobs. And these unemployment benefit extensions have really created perverse incentives for hiring. And so it's good to see that hopefully that will change, at least in Tennessee.
Yeah, there was some confusion on Twitter, I think, when I saw it announced yesterday. There were some people confused as to how the governor could opt out because they assumed that they were talking about like all unemployment.
Right.
No, just the supplemental payments. It's not anything that is regularly in your unemployment benefits. Those still are available. But we also, I think in this, there's been a lot of talk about how a lot of people have been working remotely or staying home or have left the job market to take care of kids because the kids were in school remotely. And so as people go back to work, we need to make sure that there's enough childcare and that the schools also stay consistently open so that parents can maintain those jobs.
Yeah, there are a lot of hurdles to getting a job and keeping a job, and we've talked a lot about that, like different welfare reforms, like you said, childcare and those kinds of things, school, like being open. All of those are important to a strong workforce, and in particular, bad policies that actually punish people, say, oh, you're going to make less money by actually going to work and getting a job than if you stay on these benefits. It's not good for, certainly not good for the economy. It's not good for employers who are looking to hire, and it's not good for the people we're claiming to help. It actually harms them as well. There's nothing more dignifying than having a job and earning a living. And if you get punished for doing that because you make less money than you would if you weren't working, we shouldn't have systems like that. So it's really nice to, like you said, we keeping all of the original unemployment benefits, but it's this extension that economists across the board have said this is having a real impact on our ability to get the job market back to where it should be post COVID.
Yeah, and I don't blame people for taking it when they're on it, because they
The
they don't,
system allows it, right?
it's a system that, has been created, and they're trying to do what they can for their family. So it definitely needs to move on and get people back to work. Even incentivizing people to work, I think, would be a better solution than paying them more not to work.
Not to work. It makes no sense. It's insane. Well, fortunately, that will no longer be the case in Tennessee as a result of this opt out. I think a handful of other states have done the same thing. So it'll be interesting to see. Yeah,
Mhm.
see if our economy rebounds faster as a result in some of these other states. Another crazy thing that is happening this week, but a lot of weird stuff happening this
It's been
week.
a big news week, I feel
The,
like.
the Colonial Pipeline was
Oh, the
the
panic of,
hacking and the ransom of shutting that down, and then that was like, oh, it's going to create a shortage of gas in certain areas, and then there are states that aren't at all even served by this pipeline that have a shortage of gas because people are stupid.
because it's the effect of social media, right? Like it just
Yes, it's horrible.
misinformation like wildfire. And I mean, we have got to get better, people. We cannot. The toilet paper shortage was enough in 2020. Gas shortage that isn't real is also not okay in 2021.
Did we not learn this
No, there was a guy
a
filling up
year ago?
bags
Gas
of,
bags.
it wasn't a gas bag, it was just like a grocery bag.
But he made him a gas bag because he put gasoline in like a clear plastic bag, and multiple, right? His whole trunk was full of them in this picture.
Won't the fuel like eat away at the plastic
Yes,
eventually?
and
It'll
run
just,
everywhere. Your car's going to smell like gasoline forever. It may even catch on fire. Which,
and then
you know, if
like,
you're that stupid, maybe that should happen.
how do you get the gas into your car from the bag at that point too? Like,
Well,
are you transporting it to a bucket? Are you,
how do you get it from the bucket? You're going to
it has
siphon it into
a
your
spout.
car?
It has a spout on it, like a gas can.
Oh, a gas can. That's a different than a bucket. A bucket's like a bucket.
I meant like a gas can. Like, yes, I can see
Well, how are you
the,
going to get it into the gas can? That opening is not that big either.
that's true.
I think that the guy's going to have gasoline sitting around for the rest of his life because he won't need gas because it's going to be fine. By the time he runs out of gas in his car, we're going to have gas back at the gas stations.
Well, it already is.
He can't get it out of the bags.
They opened the pipeline last night. They're thankfully able to restart
Right.
their process. Is going to take a couple of days to get it actually transported to places, but like by this weekend.
What I'm mostly frustrated about is my family, Kara's family in Kentucky, has Christmas in May at the family cabin now because it's just easier to plan and get everybody together. We have family coming from as far away as Florida, driving their RV up. Well, when you limit the ability to get gas to like $10, you're not getting very far in an RV on $10. So we had to cancel our family trip because all
No.
of these idiots buying up all the gas, and our families with RVs can't get in town.
Oh,
Literal story. True.
I can't believe you had to cancel that. Well, are you supposed to do Christmas in July? Because it's like halfway between.
This is when it's our family.
Y'all just picked May.
The May, it's too hot in July.
It's fine. You
May
have
at the cabin is quite wonderful.
The holidays were weird this year anyway, so you can have Christmas whenever you want in
That's
2020.
right. Christmas all year long. Free gasoline for everybody because we can't get any right now because of these idiot gas bags.
Well, I just, as a society, I just want us to stop doing these crazy things like
Panic
going
button.
and buying, 32 gallons of or gallons, 32 packs of toilet paper and hand sanitizer. Like none of that would have actually been a problem if we hadn't panic buyed.
Agreed. None of it. Like it is never the actual shortage that leads to a complete lack of the product. It's that people can't get toilet paper because Edna over here has her garage full of 4,000 rolls of toilet paper that it'll disintegrate before she's able to use it all.
That is pretty funny. I did have a friend say, I was like, oh, I can't find Clorox wipes anywhere. And they're like, oh, my mom has a shed full of them. And I was like, no, why? That's why they're not at Kroger.
Ugh, I hate it. It really drives me crazy
Yeah.
because I mean, there are states that were not impacted at all by the Colonial Pipeline shutdown who have shortages because people are running and filling up every bag and bucket that they have.
Also, is the real problem not that 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 somebody can just hack into a system and shut
Yeah,
down
for ransomware like that. And now, with Bitcoin and all of that stuff, that's easier to do because you can't really keep track of it's you can't mark the dollar bills and find out where they went. And so it's an interesting new development, and I think a lot of countries even are weaponizing ransomware to do damage and cause destruction.
was this some guy sitting in a cubicle that like clicked on one of those bad emails and accidentally
I think this was like intentional. I don't think some dude got like spam
spam?
and accidentally clicked on and shut down half
I was
our
like,
economy with the
I was like, how upset would you be if you were that person?
he probably doesn't even know he did it.
No.
Anyway, moving on to more important matters. Um, Bennifer,
Yes.
you're gonna
Oh,
have to
this is
explain
good
this
news.
because, as you know,
This made me
I
happy.
don't really know about these kinds of things.
No, you're not into pop culture. Yes, Bennifer is back, which is J Lo and Ben Affleck. They were a hot couple in the I don't remember if it was the 90s, like late 90s, early 2000s. It had to have been late 90s. I'll double check that, but around that time. And now they're back together, like 20 years later.
And we care because
Because it's Bennifer. They made a movie together. It was terrible, but
they're both famous. So, but again, like whatever floats your boat. What I care about is this picture you showed me of his back tattoo.
Oh my God. I
Because
didn't know
I
that
thought he was wearing an Affliction t-shirt.
that he had a back tattoo.
It's like the whole thing. It's like a screaming eagle on his back.
It's very strange, right? Like I had no idea.
And it looks like a t-shirt with
Yeah,
like the
it does.
crazy design, like awful,
This
weird
must have been after his like rise to fame. This was a bad decision and a different night.
Yeah, well, that was when he was mourning for Bennifer to come back. So
Yes. But I personally am very happy that Bennifer is back.
I could care less or couldn't care less, whatever.
Caleb looks fantastic for being like 51.
I'm just disturbed by the tattoo.
Yeah.
So, well, he's probably the type of guy that would go fill up bags of gas.
No.
If you have a tattoo like that, I've lost all respect for you.
Wasn't he in that movie that where they're the astronauts? I loved that movie and I can't think of the name of it.
Was that one Armageddon?
Armageddon, yes. Great movie.
With Liv Tyler. See, she's hot. Now we want to talk like I care about what she's doing.
That was when, I really fell in love with Ben Affleck.
Taylor will be so happy that we talked pop culture.
She will be happy.
Which is hard to do.
We're here to boost their ratings, so
this is true. Make sure you hit like at the bottom of this if it's on Facebook or
share.
tweet it on Twitter. share it, however you want to do
What are
that.
we supposed to say? Like subscribe? I don't know if we say that or not.
Subscribe at all of the things that whatever you're listening to us on now, tell others to subscribe to it because
Share it, promote it,
I
whatever.
know this gets put on some of those things, but they did not give me a script to go by as the host. So again, insert here what platforms
Hello.
you can find this podcast on.
Yes.
And be
Thanks
sure to
for
like it because we have a bet with them that we'll get more likes on this than they typically do because we need to change the pace every now and then.
Oh, for sure.
Kind of boring lately.
It has, for sure.
Well, this is good. This has been a great one. I've enjoyed it.
We're way funnier.
We are.
You're
And
welcome, Mark.
like it and share it to prove us right.
Subscribe, whatever.
Until next time, we'll talk to you then.
You have a tagline that you're supposed to say at the end?
I don't know.
Okay. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.